in prison, he managed to write a book because he has a photographic memory about the things which happened in his life, and particularly some of the horrible things in Guantánamo Bay and his personal experience there. The book was published when he was still in prison by human rights activists and lawyers in America, who in the end also managed to set him free. The book was made into a movie, a Hollywood movie, with, among others, Jodie Foster and Dominic Cumberbatch. And Mohamedou, I have to say, and I'm running a place which looks a little bit like Zach in Amsterdam. I meet a lot of people. Mohamedou is the closest I ever came with one of our friends and guests in the Bali, who resembles the free mind of a man like Nelson Mandela or maybe Mahatma Gandhi. To live through 15 years of confinement and being able to come out not only sane but more sane than the most people I've met is a tremendous thing and a very hopeful thing. So maybe I will be all right, and maybe you will be all right listening to Mohamedou Ould Slahi. We brought a little clip and we'll play it now and then ask Mohamedou to come on stage.
I've never been part of a conspiracy, but I'm starting to think that this is what it must feel like to be on the outside of one.
If you stray outside the designated areas, you will be removed from the island.
It's recommended you wear a hijab when visiting your client. We've had incidents of inmates spitting at female lawyers.
You want to represent the head recruiter for 9/11.
Mohamedou Ould Slahi, the Mauritanian held in Guantánamo. He recruited the guys who flew your friend's plane into the South Tower.
He put those men on my husband's plane?
I'm gonna make him pay.
In the event the detainee lunges for you, push back away from the table. We'll get in there as quick as we can.
I'm Nancy Hollander. This is my associate. We wish to represent you.
We are seeking the death penalty, but if we miss something, this guy goes home. Let's get to it.
Call this number. Speak to my mother. Tell her, something nice.
The U.S. government is holding upwards of 700 prisoners in Guantanamo. Since when did we start locking people up without a trial in this country?
That's a lot of case files.
The prosecution won't show us the evidence they have against you. It's all redacted.
You got a problem, take it up with the government. All my time here, I've been told you are guilty. Not for something that I have done, but because of suspicions and associations. I am innocent.
He has been interrogated. He has been held against his will for 6 years without a single charge being laid against him.
Does it bother you at all working for someone like this?
I'm not just defending him. I'm defending the rule of law.
You haven't seen what I've seen.
Where I'm from, in Mauritania, we know not to trust the police. But never did I believe that the United States of America would use fear and terror to control me.
A couple sleepless nights, that's all. I've never been part of a conspiracy, but I'm starting to think this is what it must feel like to be on the outside of it.
If you're ever thinking this, either wear the jersey or get off the field.
You need to tell me what happened to you. I can't defend you. Do you understand that?
You asked me to set fire to this place, but I'm still...
Maybe he's guilty.
Maybe he is. We're doing our job.
I'm not welcome home. That's not a part of my job.
If I'm wrong, when it comes to my reckoning, I'm the one that'll have to answer for it.
What makes you think you're any better than the rest of us? I don't think I'm better than anybody else. That is the point.
For 8 years, I have been dreaming of being in a courtroom. Now that I'm here, I'm scared to death.
You know, I think I figured out why they built Guantanamo down there. My client, he's not a suspect. He's a witness.
Mr. Slahi, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me?
The Mauritanian.
Can I join me in welcoming Mohamedou Ould Slahi to the stage in Tbilisi at ZAG. Wonderful to have you here. this is you?
Yes, I was born. Can I change the?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I feel so important to have this as a power. I was born in a time of hardship and difficulties. I was born in Mauritania, a very small country, a very small population, but a very big country. And I was born in the middle of nowhere. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where I was born, about 70 kilometers from the border to Senegal. And I went, especially after our meeting, to take a picture from the place where I was born. My cousin led me to the place. I will never forget this day. I lost my father when I was about 11 years of age. He died alone. He could not survive the loss of the camels. And he kept taking me to the places where the camels died, and he showed me this is Mbarka, this is Mariam, the name of the camel we lost over the years. And he was so depressed that he could not survive. But back then we did not know anything about depression. He never went to the hospital. He never had a government ID. He never rode in a car. I told you that already.
Yeah.
And but one thing that
he
I
rode his camels.
Yes, one thing that I learned from him was the love of learning. Learning and going to school is the only thing that could set you on par with people who have advantage, with money, with status. And I vividly remember this day when I had to go to school. It was like second or third grade. And the only problem was, my dear friend, I did not have shoes. Today I have very nice shoes, by the way. I bought them on sale, very cheap in the Netherlands. And it was so hot. It was a very hot day. But I was in love in school.
Can we see the picture of the landscape again? The one before? Yeah.
Yes.
So you walked through sand dunes without...
And I would dash from tree to the next tree so I could cool down my feet.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the way, I met a woman who was very nosy, and she asked me, why don't you have shoes? And she started giving me a lecture. And we listened to deep listening. I was looking her in the eyes, but I was not listening. I was asking myself, how can I get out of this? Because I was ashamed to tell her that my family is so poor. And then I said, okay, I'm going back to home to get my shoes. And then I took another route. And then I came precisely on time for my class. This woman is a very important woman in my country, and I will tell you later. This is where my father passed on. He is the only person in the middle of nowhere. He was buried here. When I finished with my obsession with school, I was always number one. Not because I'm smart. I'm not smart. Because I was just obsessed. And any day, obsession beats intelligence.
Uh-huh.
And
here it says in Dutch, time to go to study in Germany.
Yes, I never heard of this country. When I finished high school, I won a scholarship to study in Germany. And I remember the first word I heard was, at the embassy, was Fachhochschule.
Fachhochschule, yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard to pronounce. Fachhochschule. Anyone speak German here? Yes, so you understand. That's the first word I heard. And I went to this demonstration because I felt freedom. And I went to a demonstration in Stuttgart. And I remember vividly this young man from Iran who stood on the podium and said, he said, wir sind den Rachen eines verrückten Mannes ausgesetzt. We are exposed to the wrath of a madman. And I never forget like how eloquent he was. And then I fell in love with languages. Can you imagine that a very short phone call changes your whole life? This is exactly what happened to me. I received a phone call from my cousin. His father was sick in the hospital, and he asked me to help his father. He was outside the country. But this was not a normal phone call. He called me with the telephone of Osama bin Laden in person. They were friends.
Your cousin is a poet.
Yes.
And
I did not know anything about this. And from that moment on, I was flagged.
Because somebody was listening in to these phone calls?
Yes.
So you were noted?
Absolutely. It was short after 9/11. And those two police agents came to our house. They were in civilian, plain clothes. And I think there is living memory here who remember when the police has so much power over the people here. They came to me.
There's living memory in Georgia, yes. There's living memory, and it's back. But, yeah.
Unfortunately. And then they came to me and they asked me to come with them. I was very scared. And my mother told me, son, I know why they came to me. And I said, why? She said, because you watch too much television.
This was at home in Mauritania?
Yes.
Yeah.
I told you not to watch television. Ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in a military dictatorship. And we were scared to talk. Just talking, can you believe that talking can get you in prison, can get you kidnapped and tortured?
I think a lot of people here can imagine, actually.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And my mother also instinctively understood that informed citizens are a lot of trouble for dictatorship. So when you read, when you watch TV, that's a very big problem for a dictatorship.
So they will come and get you, that's what she thought?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I told her I will come back for iftar. It was in Ramadan, and we had this iftar, we eat together at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my mother. Her name is Mariam. We call her Mayam. She's the most beautiful woman in the world, and I don't care. I know there are a lot of beautiful people here, but my mother is the most beautiful woman in the world. Thank you.
Hey.
I will never forget my mother when she hold her prayer beads. And I was living with this policeman.
In a car?
In a car, and she was shaking and praying. I never saw my mother again. Her face started to disappear. And I was thinking I would come back, but I never came back. And you know, the cold truth is that for everyone, there is a house and there is a door that you would one day leave. And you think, I will come back, but you will not come back. You will not come back. And this is valid for you, valid for me. And this actually will change my life completely. My mother passed on after 11 years in prison. And I never forget the day when they came to me and they said, your mother passed on, and so your brother too. I was sitting, I couldn't move, and I couldn't hear anything. My ears start ringing. And then I could only see the mouth moving of these officers. And I couldn't breathe.
Were two officers, one officer who told you the...
Two officers, and they had a priest with them.
Yeah.
So you ask me now, I have to tell you, because we were not allowed to have imam, like a Muslim priest, we were not allowed to have. So they brought a black priest.
Yeah.
Because American people are very funny. They said, this guy is a Muslim, and a black priest is really very close to Muslims. And you open the Bible and they start to read. And he has a very heavy accent, actually. And my English, as you could already see, is not really that good. So he had a very heavy accent, and he started to read the Bible, and I told him, thank you. And then what? And I had to sing 12 hours to ease my pain, to sing from our holy book. My very first dark side, that is secret prison, was in Jordan. After 8 months, they took me out, they put blindfold, just like this is David Hicks, my friend David Hicks, from Australia. And they told me, you are free. After 8 months, they told me, you are free. I start crying because I did not know what freedom meant after 8 months. I was in the darkness. I did not know the difference between days or night. What I would do, I would scratch lines on my SEM to count the days. But I was wrong. You know, because we are so vulnerable as human beings. If you are Tom Cruise, or The Rock, or a 6-year-old, you are vulnerable as human being. But instead of going home, I was stripped naked, and I was put in baby diapers and overall. I knew I was not going back to Mama. And this is one of the guards. His name is Mr. X. And this is one of them. And he was interrogating one of the interrogators. And he made this drawing about me. And he sent me this drawing. And I know I was not going back home. And later on, one of them, the officer came to me and said, I was selected for death penalty. I was the first death penalty case in Guantánamo Bay. And I will tell you, at that point, I had no feeling. I was not afraid, but not afraid. I had no feeling. But it occurred to me, I start to have regrets. And I will tell you my regret. But first I will tell you what I did not regret. I did not regret not having money. Because when you leave, there is no difference between €1 or 1 million euro. I did not regret meeting so many beautiful women at the university who did not want me. No regrets. I did not regret that I was going to die. I did regret one single thing. One thing, not two things. I was not kind enough. I was not kind enough to my mama. I wasn't kind enough to my brothers, my sisters, my friends, my partner, or people. And I took it upon myself, if God gives me another chance, I will be a kind person. And ladies and gentlemen, I am your guy. I am a very kind person. But my family is a very big problem for me. They really pushed me so hard. Anyone hate those WhatsApp group with the family? Oh my God, this is terrorism. They should be taken to Guantánamo Bay, to prison, secret prison. Because I really get very upset and very mad. But if you are not kind to your family, you are fake. You can be kind to the whole world, but you have to be kind to your family, and family is very challenging for me. I don't know about you.
You did not regret having to die, because that's what they told you.
Yes.
That's
death penalty.
That's amazing. I mean, I've never been in that situation, of course, and you've told me this before. And it is sort of one of the roots of what I would call your transformation to a free man. But just that sentence, I did not regret that I had to die.
Yes. Yes, because this is not my responsibility. You know, we talk about Dikval der Wahl.
Yeah.
Wer die Wahl hat die Wahl.
Wer der Wahl hat die Qual.
Yes.
That's a German for who has the choice has the
Yes.
problem. Huh?
Yeah, they call it the torment of too many choices. I did not have a choice. Because the only thing, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the only thing you can control is your actions. And when I was younger, I was so obsessed with what people think about me. So I would dress for people. I would talk to please people. I would even date people to please people. Today, I don't give a shit about what people say. Absolutely none whatsoever, because when that door of that cell slammed shut, there was no demonstration for me. There was no free Mohamedou. There wasn't. It was complete darkness. And then I was focused on controlling myself and what I do, and I'm not worrying about what other people do, because I don't have any control over it.
Yeah, now I understand better. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I want to be friendly.
I want to be, this is all I want to be. I want to be very kind. I'm not fake. I want to be kind to myself first and foremost. Because if you are not kind to yourself, you cannot be kind to anyone. And this is when I saw the vision that this is it. You know, one day you are gone, and like Nuno, like you said, after 100 years, no one will think about you or me. We are not so significant. And unfortunately, that's the case, you know. And and you know why people think I forgive? Because I am a very kind person, but I forgive because of my well-being. Because no one in this world is worth damaging your well-being. If someone is damaging your well-being, get out. I don't care if it's your wife, your husband, or even if your well-being is damaged, get out. You know. Back to this woman. This woman actually is the mother of the person who handed me over to the Americans.
Really?
Yes.
Of the Secret Service guy
who
arrested you.
And he became president later on. He was promoted to president. That's him with Jacques Chirac.
That's the Mauritanian dictator.
This is the person who handed me over. Yes. And that's his mother. She was our neighbor. But I completely and utterly forgive him, and I forgive his family, and I forgive everyone. And I tell you this, and I will repeat it. I'm not here to talk ill about Mauritania or about the US. As a matter of fact, I think that American people are one of the kindest people in this world. Really. Any Americans here? I will report you. Thank you. I think American people are one of the kindest people, because you cannot judge people by the action, the illegal actions of their government, you know. And this is Nancy Hollander, and this is the prosecutor.
Yeah,
You know.
the two people we just saw in the clip.
Yes.
Cumberbatch and Foster.
And I took this photo.
This is Nancy Hollander and the prosecutor.
Couch. Colonel Couch.
Colonel Couch.
And he said, I would stick the needle in his arm. Ladies and gentlemen, we are friends now.
The needle which would execute you.
Yes, the execution. I would stick the needle in his arm. We are friends now, and we had here an event together in Switzerland. And because this is the power of forgiveness, because the governments ain't gonna give you freedom. We have to give ourselves freedom. You know, we have to be friends. We have to be friends with other countries and other people who think like us. And you met him. We went there and we did the event. This is my former guard, Steve Wood. And this is a picture we took in a very special place in Amsterdam. I think Americans call it Amsterdam, we call it Amsterdam. And and this is, we took this in Anna Frank house. Yes. Okay, this is a man who also was, this is very amazing story, I will tell you very quickly. I'm talking about people, forgiveness, like giving, but how about receiving? And this man was the victim of his name. This man's name is Khalid Al-Masri. And he was picked up just because his name was mentioned somewhere, and he was tortured, and he cannot walk anymore. And how do I know his name? When I was tortured, they told me, you know this guy, because they heard this name from another person they tortured. At first I said, no, I don't know him. When they tortured me, I said, yes, I know him, he's my friend. And I had to, when I came to the Netherlands, I have to search him, and I found him in Graz.
In Graz,
Yes.
in Austria. Yeah.
Yes, in Graz. And he was the kindest man. He told me, "Kharrabt Beiti." He said, you destroyed my house. And I was like, of course we were laughing about it, and I explained to him, and we are friends now. We text each other. Freedom. Anyone been to prison? Please, could you stand up? Don't skip. So the only people who understand freedom are the people who lost their freedom. Because the fact that, you can sleep when you want, you can eat when you want, but when you are in prison, you have no privacy. You cannot call anyone, you cannot talk to anyone, you cannot text anyone. You have to live within your head. I did that for 15 years, mostly in isolation. 4 years ago, a little bit over, this good guy and his colleague at the night theater club in Groningen invited me to the Netherlands, the most beautiful country in the world, and I don't care who thinks otherwise. And I was talking to them how naive they were, because they want to invite me because I was on all kinds of blacklists, to be honest with you. But they said, no, we invite you, and they did a lot of work to get to. This is my first day, and I will never forget when I was greeted with the bad smell of bad coffee. And today for me, the smell of bad coffee is freedom. Whenever I go inside the building and I smell that, coffee machine, horrible. And I'm not anyway a good coffee drinker. But what saved really my life is being grateful. Every day, I write a message to myself for at least 5 things that I'm grateful for. For example, today I will write that I'm grateful for this beautiful event, and I met your friends, beautiful people. And this is my
cousin. Your cousin.
Niece.
Niece. Yeah.
My niece. In Dutch, there is no difference between niece and cousin, the same thing. So this is my niece, Janine, and I'm grateful for my family. And Thank you so much. And this is my celebration when I became a Dutch citizen. Ooh.
There are so many things we could talk about, but one thing which is always really amazing is when you talk about your life, you mix in all sort of happy and funny parts. You described that it's actually funny that they brought in a black priest when they told you of the death of your mother, which makes it easy to listen to, but you have to realize as a listener to your story that that's a horrible moment, of course. And is it a way to cope with your memories to also have a joke next to a very bad or dark memory?
I think you're right. I think it's some kind of coping mechanism, probably, maybe. And my father he always answered very bad situation with a joke. And even at that age, I learned from him. And a little bit to diffuse the very serious situation. You are in prison, you are in isolation, you cannot call your family to grieve with them, and you have to grieve with yourself. So, and I really saw the joke, because this is really how a lot of Americans think.
Yeah.
You know, they think, okay, this is a poor guy, he cannot see any mom. We can bring him a priest, but a black priest.
Yeah, so
that's really good, actually. That's the best they could do for you.
So you appreciate that, actually?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And you were saying something else. You were saying, and that's remarkable. And I've seen you talk to your ex-prisoner guard, who is now.
You met him. You talked to him.
We talked to him. We had an amazing conversation.
You are the only person who talked to him in Europe. So.
And and it's true. I mean, you're good friends.
Yes.
And it's amazing how you actually conquered yourself to being a good friend with somebody who mistreated you for many, many years, personally.
I mean, look, and this is, I think, Georgians could relate to this. I mean, I'm not trying to find excuses for the tool of oppression, but if the political system does not work, nothing else works. And you will have your neighbor having to torture you or to put you in prison against their will. And me and
they might do it, yes.
Yes, they might do it. Yes, yes, they might do it.
Yes.
We see it all the time.
History teaches us that it's your neighbors or the people you know who actually bring you to prison and execute you.
Yes, I mean, this happens all the time. It happened in Bosnia, and it happens to me, like my neighbor, a person who I know. The people who came to me, one of them I know in person. And so, and we were young, and when we met, we were friends, but it was a taboo to be friends. And that's why I told you, we were like two gays who came out of the closet in the Netherlands, because we were not allowed to be friends in prison, but we sit with each other and we joke about other people. Because in Mauritania, when you know someone is your good friend, when they start gossiping with you about other people behind their backs.
And you're saying, and that's remarkable again, I would say. I mean, you were, after 15 years, dumped back in your country, with precise orders that you could not travel.
Yes.
And this is not the first time I heard you say out loud to crowds, nothing wrong with Americans. And even nothing wrong with American democracy, sometimes I heard you say.
I think, the good thing about functioning democracy, that it can repair itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told you before we came here that, of course, to be honest, I'm very scared of Trump.
Yeah.
Because he's a very big threat.
Yeah.
But I told you I'm not scared of American people because they're very brave and they are not taking it, Because democracy, like Mohamedou Ould said, democracy is not an event, it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like nirvana, like Europe thought after World War II, this is nirvana.
We have democracy.
We have democracy, America is going to protect democracy,
mm-hmm.
and we can sleep. But this is not how democracy works. We have to be awake, we have to be always controlling the government because this is democracy. And this is what I meant, because American people are my friends, they are not my enemy. We all fight for the same thing. My family wants education, they want work, whether my family is in Mauritania or in Georgia or or your family in Russia or anywhere, they want freedom. You cannot not want freedom.
Is that so?
I believe, I would like to believe so.
That you cannot not want freedom.
I would love to believe so. Then,
yeah.
Otherwise, I would be very sad.
Yeah, yeah. And you believe that most people would actually, and whether they under Putin or under Trump, would want freedom.
Yes, I truly believe that people want freedom. Slavery is not cool. Seriously. I've been there. I'm expert because I grew up in military dictatorship.
Yes.
And I don't want to be afraid all the time. The thing that I do all the time in Amsterdam is I just walk. I keep walking. And my first visit to you, it was like everything dead. It was ghost town. And then I want to practice my Dutch. I spoke to you.
It was during COVID.
Yes,
huh?
I spoke to you in Dutch. This is after 1 week. 1 week. I spoke in Dutch. And then you will say, your Dutch is good. Now I'm ashamed that I spoke to you in Dutch. Because now I know my Dutch is so horrible. And then I went from the Bali, and then I took Google Translate, and then I prepared this sentence. Ik zou graag een broodje willen bestellen.
I would like to order
a sandwich.
A sandwich, yeah.
And then I was walking proudly in Amsterdam and repeating the sentence. And then I was walking to Amsterdam Zuid, all the way walking. And then this young man, blonde, very young, in his 20s, I looked at him and I said, meneer, ik zou graag een broodje willen bestellen. I would like to order a sandwich. He looked at me without losing a beat and said,
yeah.
I don't speak Dutch. People from Amsterdam understand this. Definitely.
Most people who are working in sandwich shop would not speak Dutch because they're from abroad. Yeah, you didn't know that, of course.
I didn't know that. And I didn't know how to talk because I forgot my English, I forget my French, I forget every language I know because I want to say, oh, like you, oh, your Dutch is good.
Maybe a closing question before we go to people, because I think there might be a lot of people who want to come in. But again, I'm trying to understand, and you said something in your introduction about your life story, but you said the insight which gave you being in the dark for years and years, literally often, with no light coming into the cell, being transferred from the one place you didn't know to the other place on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. You said, the only thing I can do about it to feel free is myself, is control myself.
Yes.
And the first, I mean, because you described to us the moment where you first thought about that, where you first realized that if they execute me, the one thing I regret is not being kind. But a moment like that doesn't stay with you for years, I would think. It's like a process, it's like democracy. It's not a arrival point, it's something you need to be doing all the time. So how did you manage, because this was after 8 months being in Jordan. Then there were another 14 years and
plus
4 months to go.
Yes, it's a process, like, you're right. At first I want revenge.
You did?
I want to get back at the people who separated me from my mother, because my mother was sick and I was the main provider.
Yeah, you were the one who made it, because your father died, no?
Yes,
yeah.
And I had very good education.
Yeah.
I was programmer.
Yeah.
And
technical engineer from Germany.
Yeah, technical engineer, and I had very good job. I made very good money, and they destroyed completely my life. I lost everything.
Yeah.
I was literally naked, and it was a process. But when I saw this is the point, I'm going to die now, and it was like this. Okay, what is important in life? It came to me that I will tell you a story. Do you know Alfred Nobel?
The man who was the founder of the Nobel Prize, but also the one who made the dynamite, no?
Yes. And he was very rich and very successful businessman. And he didn't care about the critic, anti-war movement or anything. One day, a French journalist wrote an article by mistake. The brother of Alfred Nobel died, but this French journalist thought Alfred Nobel died. And he wrote a very big article, first headline, titled Le Marchand de la Mort est mort.
The merchant of death is dead.
Is dead.
No, yeah.
The merchant of death is dead. And Alfred was sitting, sipping his coffee, newspaper, and he read, and it was like, oh my God, this is my legacy, this is my life.
This is my life, yeah.
This is my life. And then he completely changed his life around and put all his money in service of humanity.
Yeah, of the Nobel Prize, among others.
I think we're stealing the time
of the audience, you're right.
Audience.
You're right. That's right. If there's anybody who would have a question or likes to come into the conversation, I see the woman over there in the wonderful pink. Yeah, it works.
First of all, thank you for sharing your story and for spreading a piece of hope across the audience. My question is, if you could describe loneliness in one word, what would that be and why? Thank you.
Loneliness in one word.
Loneliness is a state of mind, mostly. I wasn't lonely when I was alone. But you could be lonely with millions of people around.
There's
somebody over here. What's a white? Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Yes, please.
Deep respect, but first of all, this is amazing to watch a person who got through this unbelievable hell, and he could be so alive and positive, and so this is, respect, and thank you for sharing. My question is, I have thought about it a lot, so when you go to prison and when you're guilty, your brain is wired differently and maybe takes more punishment. It's ready more to punishment. This is my opinion. But when you're in prison and you're not guilty and everything is totally unfair to you, so what is the mechanism of surviving? So what is the coping mechanism of your psychic? How do you get through this? Or is there a moment when you give up, or you say, okay, this is it, or you always have hope? Or I would like you to explain what went through your mind when you were in this situation and you realized, okay, this is it.
So 2 points. First, the assumption that life is fair. I don't believe that life is fair, number one. So, number two, the thing that really helped me most is my grandma. She taught me one thing I never forget. She said, Mohamedou, go outside and see if someone needs help and help them. And Allah will help you 10 times. This may not make sense in other cultures, but it makes sense to me. And this is what makes me happy if I help someone. And you do the same thing, because that's what you do. You help other people, including me, you know. And this is what gives you life. And you do it. I can tell you thank you, but you can also tell me thank you for letting me help you, because you feel the same satisfaction. Being of service to other people. And I cannot dwell on prison, who is right, who is wrong. I don't have time.
So you mean no after going through the prison, but did you have this chance in prison? Like, could you do it there and survive in this way? Or I'm always thinking, what is the possibility to survive there? What can you put your brain to, like, okay, I'll do this and I'll survive, because you are like you said, you're in totally controlled space and darkness and everything. You're totally...
Thank you, dear. Yeah, that's... I think you gave an answer to that.
Yes, and the only thing I want to say, we get only to talk to survivors. You don't get to ask, because most people did not survive. And a lot of people went mad. And I know 2 people who died. Daliwar, he died under torture, and Gur Rahman died under torture. At least 2 people I know of. And we only talk to people who survived. The people who survived have qualities, you know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. There's more people who want. I think I'm looking at Nino. Is there time for 2 questions, or there isn't? Maybe there's one here and there's one over there.
I would like to say that it's not like about the question. Actually, I don't know if he thought or no, but he became a winner of this system. And you said that you wanted to make a revenge. I think you became a winner of that because you did not want a revenge. And you are today on the stage of the ZEC. And it means that you are very successful. And the politics behind this you is the loser. Because the people like you, they're making the system weak, while you are serving as a winner of the unfairness. And you are speaking for the another people who are now trying to survive from the same system. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here and really spreading the hope and positivity and kindness. And I fully agree that I think in today's world, it has become something that we all need, I think. And I loved what you said when you said that I would like to believe so. And I think that's like a mindset that we need to, dig a bit deeper in it, right? It shows that your mindset is that you actually tell yourself what you believe in and you can control what you believe in. You also mentioned that actually loneliness is sometimes you can be surrounded with millions of people and feel the loneliest, and being alone, locked up, and not feel the lonely. I'm sorry to bring you back to prison a bit, but I would like to dig into your brain a bit if it's okay, because I think every
every civic activist, in a way, feels that if today I'm arrested and you're locked up and you are, have not done anything wrong, you feel actually it's vice versa. How do you stay insane? Like, how you not become angry, how you are not losing yourself, and how you believe in that? Like, what do you say to yourself? Is there techniques? I don't know.
What do you do to stay sane?
Exactly. What do you do in that situation? Thank you.
This is a very challenging question, to be honest with you. I think getting rid of poison is very important, and poison is hate. You should never look at the people who put you in prison and hate them, because this is counterproductive, because this will kill you inside. Those people found themselves in circumstances that are not good, and they are not feeling good about themselves. And I mean, always be a positive force. Even if you are in a cell, always be a positive force. In my cell, I used to teach the American recruits. I used to teach them math and computer science, because they study also at the same time. I never saw them as my enemies, ever. And I don't know the answer to your question, by the way.
I think we draw into a close. Thank you very much, Mohamedou, especially because we have these conversations often, and I know how immensely challenging it is also to answer your questions and my questions. I really thank you, because it is a very, very hard work for you, I know. But it's very important for us to get a part of your insight in that. So thank you very much again, my friend.
Thank you
for coming out. Thank you. Thank you, man.